Oh, hello, party people. Nobody's here yet. All right. Hopefully, this is started by now. I'll give it a minute. Okay, so I've been doing these at 5, and now it's 7. 7, like 15. Now, I'm late today because yesterday I made some crappy dinner. Sometimes you make the fried rice and everything was going just fine. I sauteed some vegetables. I put the rice in there. I fried the rice a little bit with the vegetables. And then I was like, I didn't have meat. Usually I would do the meat first, but I had eggs. And I was like, I'll make egg fried rice. That'll be good. That'll be good enough, right? So I put the eggs on the fried rice at the end, and man, that is not a good way to do it because then it just turns the whole thing into like sort of like mushy concrete, where the eggs are the cement and the rice and the vegetables are the rocks and sand. Ugh, I think I have to cook the eggs separate and then put them in after. Anyway, I don't usually make egg fried rice. I usually make like dead meat fried rice. And in that case, I just cook the meat, chop it into little bits, fry it a little more, throw vegetables in there, cook them, throw the rice in there, dry, fry that a little bit, and then add some water and, sizzles up and simmers and it comes out delicious. But yeah, I got to work on my egg fried rice. So since yesterday's dinner was so crap, and my kids are like, "This is not your best dinner ever, Papa." I was like, "All right, today I got to make some good dinner." So I made some kick-ass dinner today. So I add eggs to all my fried rice. Okay, classic dude, Mike. How do you add eggs to your fried rice? Do you cook the eggs separate and then put them in? Maybe I should move my light a little bit. Like one of my eyes is not visible. Ooh, that's better. Okay. Anyway, so today I was like, I got to make some kick-ass dinner. So I got some chicken, two big ass chicken legs. This was like some kind of steroid chickens or something. Anyway, two big chicken legs. Cooked them for a while, and put a bit of water in the pan so they simmer for a while. That way I could render a bunch of fat out of the chicken. So I cooked the chicken, put the fat aside. Meanwhile, I had a loaf of bread, sourdough bread, that I prepped this morning. Raisin sourdough bread. Raisin sourdough bread's amazing. So anyway, I put that on the stove after I took the chicken off. And then, separated the bones and chopped up the chicken. And while I was doing that, the bread was cooking. And I also started cooking some rice. And then got some tomato sauce and some oregano from my garden and stuff, and put it in with the chopped up chicken bits and put that back on the stove. And the bread was cooking and the rice was cooking. And all that stuff was done pretty much about the same time. This all took a while because I only have one burner, but I just put it on really hot, just kept switching the pans. So it was cooking 3 things at once. And it's just a wood fire. So I just put the kind of stuff in there that I know will burn really hot. Anyway, so I got all those 3 cooked. And then after I took the bread out of the popcorn pot, I took all that chicken fat I rendered earlier, put that in the popcorn pot, and then made popcorn with it. Oh, chicken fat makes the best popcorn. Oh man, I don't know. There might be a better popcorn out there somewhere, but like pig fat makes pretty good. Beef fat makes, I would say beef fat makes superior to pork fat. I don't know. It depends on the part of the pork. For some reason, I've never found bacon fat to make that good popcorn. I don't know why. I think it's weird. But like, some other parts of the pig, pork chops and stuff, I don't know, the fat from that makes great popcorn. But like chicken popcorn, always amazing. Oh, and chicken, like when you cook chicken, you get a lot of fat out of it. Unless, of course, you go to the store and get those lame-o chicken breasts that are just like dry white meat, and it's like, come on, man, this isn't interesting. It's easy because you don't have to dig through any bones or kind of deal with the fat or anything. But now that I love the fat, I want the fat. Anyway, yeah, get some like chicken thighs and cook them, get all that chicken fat out. Oh, that's the best ingredient to cook things with. Okay, so dinner today was excellent. It was rice with tomato saucy chicken on top with some fancy stuff in there, and And then I also made a loaf of bread. We didn't get into that though. We'll have that in the morning. And then chicken popcorn. Ooh, chicken popcorn for dessert. That was delicious. And I asked one of my kids, does this make up for that crappy dinner yesterday? Now they didn't actually say it was crappy dinner yesterday, but Bellatrix was like, this makes up for all the crappy dinners ever. This is amazing. So it worked. It was pretty good. Anyway, what was I going to talk about today? I wasn't just going to talk about fried rice and oh, classic dude Mike. How okay, I like eggs to all my fried. Okay, I make separate omelets, then chop them up, and then put them in the fried rice. Yeah, that's what I need to do next time. Yeah. Okay. So what I was going to talk about was a little while ago. I don't know, the other day. I don't know what day it is or anything. Sometime in recent memory, yesterday, the day before, or something. When I was like uploading a video, sometimes I'll click on a video and watch a piece of it. And I watched a bit of this video where there's some talking heads, some psychology people talking about anthropological things, human behavior and stuff. And they were talking about, well, specifically they were talking about men and women and how women are attracted to men who exude confidence. However, in our modern world, it's very easy to fake that confidence. So, because originally the idea was that, and I'm not going to talk about this just in terms of men and women, because this applies to a lot of different things. A woman looking for a man looking for a woman, job interviews, like project proposals, like anything where you have to judge a person's competence level, and then you're going to make a decision based on that. So any situation like that, like if you're going to hire someone, anything like that. People today look for confidence, and they look for confidence in it. The original reason is because that people would have confidence if they were competent, right? Like if you were really good at something, you could honestly and easily say, yeah, I'm good at that. However, today there are a couple things that kind of screw that up. So one of them, well, in this video, they even mentioned that in defense of being tricked by people who do not actually have competence, we have these words like arrogance. So like a confident person with skills can be confident and competent, but an arrogant person, that's someone who's just like confident or expressing this confidence in something where they have no actual skill. So what was it? There are two ways that people get away with this really well. You know what? I'm going to talk about this one. I think one of the major problems we have today is that we're always watching movies and TV. So we're constantly watching. Let me gloss over the other reason real quick. The first reason is that people don't care about lying anymore. People lie very comfortably, which is a problem. That's like a whole. I mean, I can make a whole video of its own about like people lying and why it's become socially acceptable and all that crap. But people are today are pretty comfortable lying as long as they can get away with it. So a lot of people are comfortable saying I'm good at something when they're not. Okay. And the other thing that really makes it so people can get away with this is that we watch all these movies and TV, right? So we see Tom Cruise flying his jet, and before he got in the jet to do the big mission, he's like, yeah, I can do this. And then he gets in the jet, and then he goes and flies this unbelievable mission and just saves the day and wins, and everything is amazing. And then he comes out and he's just like, yeah. Now, the thing is, Tom Cruise didn't actually do the flying. In fact, the mission did not even happen at all. And the reason he can be so confident, so amazingly confident, is because the script is already written. He already knows what's going to happen. So in movies and TV shows, you get all these actors And that's what they are. They're actors. And they're expressing this confidence in something they literally have no skill in. Now, Tom Cruise can fly an airplane, but he's even in the movie, he's not the guy flying the fighter jet. Like there's an expert fighter jet guy. And that guy is not in the movie because he's not interesting enough, because to be really good at something, you can't be all like exuding all this massive amounts of confidence and being all extroverted. No, you gotta focus on your crap and think about what you're doing. You gotta kind of introvert and focus on what you're doing. That's how you get competent. But since we watch these movies and TV where we're constantly seeing people just extroverting and just expressing these massive amounts of confidence and putting all this effort into being expressive about it, and then everything works out amazingly for them because that's what the script says. We see that so often that I think it's kind of screwed up people's idea of what competence actually is and what confidence actually is. So, like, we get used to seeing actors who literally have no competence in most of the stuff they're doing. They're competent at pretending they're good at it, right? So we get so used to that we watch people who are not good at things and just pretending, and we're like, aha, I've seen that before. That guy is going to do a great job, because all those hundreds of movies I've seen, all those hundreds of TV shows that have gone through my head over and over and over, they've given me the constant reinforcement that this overconfident person who's just expressing massive amounts of confidence, they must be the competent one. And it's kind of silly. So how do you get around this if you have to make a decision based on someone's skill? Well, I guess there's a lot of different things you can do. Basically, if someone is too sure of themselves, there's a good chance they're not good at what they're talking about, or they're just full of crap. And I think the best way to really judge this kind of thing, though, is to look at someone's past results. Forget about what they're saying about how amazing they are right now, or maybe they're timid. Don't worry about that stuff. Just say, what have you done, and how did it go? And give me some kind of proof that that you actually did this thing. That's a much more useful thing. The funny thing is, I've been in, not anytime recently, but in the past, when I used to try to get like normal jobs, I would go to interviews and they would never ask anything about what I've done or they'd ask like really vague questions about what I've done, but mostly it was just like a conversation. They weren't like, okay, what have you done? I want to see proof of that. And, let me get some kind of proof of past success that will hopefully, predict some kind of future success. Not that past success guarantees future success, but if you're looking for someone to run a 4-minute mile, and here's a guy who's run a 4-minute mile, and here's a guy who runs a 5-minute mile, the guy who runs a 4-minute mile is the one you're going to pick, regardless of how well this 5-minute miler talks. Doesn't matter what he says, what he's wearing, how amazingly he expresses himself. No, the guy who's done the 4-minute mile before, that's the guy you want. Anyway, all right. Let me see what you guys are talking about here. I see a bunch of comments. Oh, Nepsy says, Jaimie, hello, Mr. Landfill. Hey guys, so glad you're here. So glad I'm here. That's Sean. How's it going, Sean? Classic Dude Mike. Yes, the eggs and the fried rice. Whenever you make fried rice, cook the eggs first. That's, I don't even, I knew that. So in case anyone missed it, I made crappy fried rice yesterday because I cooked the eggs in the fried rice, partly because they were in the pan where I would normally cook the eggs, so I didn't want to have to take it out. So I just cooked them in the rice, and it does not work well. You got to cook the eggs separate. Maybe there's a special technique, but I don't know. Oh, let's see. Nemesis Ned, how's it going, man? Okay, separate omelets. Calling from Thailand. Always great content. Thanks. George Smith. Well, hello in Thailand. I hope things are going well. Man, that's a pretty far away place. It's beautiful over there, though. Yep, that's what I do with the eggs, with the rice separate, but in the same pan for me. Wait. That's what I do too with the eggs, with the rice separate, but in the same pan. Does that mean you just like shove the rice over and then cook the eggs there, and then when it's done, you can, slap it together? Bird fat is very good for you. Yes. The funny thing is, when I was a kid, oh God, there's so many things I learned when I was a kid that just turned out to be stupid. So I learned growing up that if you eat fat, you'll get fat. Don't eat fat. Ooh, then you'll get fat. Just ridiculous. I mean, the amount of fat I eat now is pretty astounding. Like I go out of my way to eat fat. Like if there's animal fat, partly because I don't want to waste. Like if something dies so I can eat, I don't want to waste any part of it if I can help it. But also just because like I'm always hungry. I'm always like I do so much. I always need calories, right? So I'm like, yeah, give me the fat. That's like the easiest calories to eat. It's just like a billion calories all at once. But yeah, I'm not fat at all. Yeah, I'm all lean. Yeah, learned so many weird things when I was a kid that just did not end up being a thing at all. Um, Bird fat is very good for you. Yeah, oh man, bird fat. You know what I bet would make amazing chicken. Amazing popcorn is duck fat. Ducks are really fatty too. I bet they would make amazing popcorn too. All right. I made killer chicken soup the other day. So good. Oh, that sounds good. The French use it a lot. The French must use chicken fat. Is that what you're talking about? Probably. He's a lifelong con artist. Oops, con artist. Con artist. Who's a lifelong? Oh, you mean when I was talking about Tom Cruise? Yeah, like actors are they're kind of like con artists with a cool job. Can you imagine if you were going through life as a con artist and there was no such thing as acting, and you're always like running from the law and everything, trying not to get thrown in jail or beat up, and then suddenly this job comes along, acting, and it's like, oh, I can just do this legal job and be a con artist, just like act like I know what I'm doing and get paid for it. That's amazing. Oh man, yeah. I do enjoy acting myself, actually, too. Aaron Boat Guy. Hello, Jaimie. Hello to Aaron. How's it going? Can you say hi to, oh, son Daniel, that's watching with me. How's it going, Daniel? I'll try not to swear too much. I generally try not to swear, but this is my Jaimie Talks channel. On my Jaimie Builds channel, swearing is off the table. Not allowed to swear. But on this channel, I swear once in a while. Although, you know what? I'm kind of thinking about just going back to one channel, because I've tried it for a few months, having two separate channels, one where I just talk and one other one where I just build. And I don't know that it's actually increasing the excellence of my experience at all. Maybe it's a better experience for someone else. So maybe if anyone has anything to say about that, like we don't care at all, or no, two channels is great, leave it that way. Let me know, because I might just go back to one channel, because it's just an extra step I have to deal with that doesn't seem to really be worth anything, Anyway, TDH says you're very active. Fat has 9 calories per gram, carbs 4 grams. Oh, 4 per gram. So you contradicted yourself. Did I? Wait. Fat has 9 calories per gram, carbs 4 gram. I think you're saying 4 per gram. How did that contradict myself? I thought I said the fat had a lot of calories and it was the real thing I was saying is fat is easy to eat. Or are you saying that you don't get fat from fat? Is that what you're trying to tell me? Because you do get fat from fat because it has a lot of calories. Well, yeah, you don't get. If you ate the same amount, then yeah, you get more calories. And if you did the same amount of stuff, then you get fat. Yeah, but like someone like me who's just as active as my diet allows, give me as many calories as I can. I eat as many calories as I can eat, and I do as much as I can on those calories before I have to go eat more. So in that case, it doesn't really matter how many calories I get. Whatever I get, I'm using. So fat good, carbs not so much. Yeah, carbs are supposed to be not that great. Um, I do eat them though, mostly because like flour is cheap and convenient and dry. Like I can store it. Like I can go get a 25-pound or 50-pound bag of flour and have bread every day for like, I don't know, a month or something. And I do always make my bread with lots of coconut in it because just plain bread is you know. And I do also make it sourdough, so it's not it's not just flour. You know, it's a lot better for you. But yeah, even then, there is a limit to how much of that stuff I can eat. You know, I'm enjoying noodles less and less. Although I noticed something weird today. So I ate some flour products yesterday and like wheat products yesterday and some today. Yesterday I ate some, it doesn't matter what it was. I ate some wheat product and I just kind of felt like crap after. But then today, while I was wheelbarrowing, like digging and moving wheelbarrows of dirt, and between each one of those, I'll do an exercise. So I'll fill a wheelbarrow, go, you know, wheel it to where it goes, dump it, and then do like 10 push-ups. And then I'll do another wheelbarrow and do like 6 chin-ups. And then do another one and do some sit-ups or something, you know. So I'm very active. I'm just sweating like a pig, and I'm like treating it like a workout, right? Um, and I ate a bunch of wheat product while I was doing that, and it was totally fine. I think that like if I'm actually like using the energy as it's coming in, like just using up energy, then I can kind of eat almost anything, and it just kind of like doesn't cause any problems. You know, it just kind of goes right into the fuel tank or whatever. But if I'm just chilling and I eat some wheat products, yeah, it just feels like crap. Oh, Ark says nice. Only 15 minutes in. I couldn't help notice that you don't have rails, tracks running into the secret harbor. I don't have rails or tracks running into the secret harbor. Anyway, taking a break from some work, eating some beans, watching Jaimie, and internet chat. I don't have. Okay, wait. I don't have rails running into the secret harbor. Like, like train tracks? Is that what you're saying? Did you mix wood chips into the dirt of your raised beds? If so, that might have made a nitrogen deficiency. I did not, actually. I build soil from the top down, so wood chips are a deep mulch that turns to humus. Very good, very good. What are you doing with your own, or what you are doing with your own soil is rad. Just find this topic interesting. Yeah, I find this topic interesting, like figuring out how to turn dirt into something where plants will grow well. Yeah, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm trying to make the dirt better. The funny thing is, like my solid clay, certain things will grow in it, like sweet potatoes. They seem fine. It's I've had watermelon grow really well in clay, and also like various potato products and squash too, actually. Um, but I wasn't really regulating it very well, so maybe they were getting some nutrients from some runoff from something or something. I don't know. Um, Now I'm paying more attention to everything. I just planted some watermelon in a pretty clayish area to test what I was just talking about. Also some squash, so I'll see how those go. Magnese says, carbs are lovely. Grain kills testosterone. Oh, my testosterone has grain killing machine guns. I don't know what I'm talking about. TDH says bullcrap. In my opinion, this channel is possibly where you have more of your diehard fans versus the build channel is like for the your public. Yes, that is pretty much how it goes. Yeah, like the Jaimie talks is like a lot fewer people, and you guys are super cool. But even when I was doing the lives on my other channel, only people who cared went to it anyway. And yeah, I don't know. The thing is, when I made the two separate channels, I was thinking, all right, if I have this separate channel where I talk, I can say pretty much anything. I don't have to worry about getting kicked off YouTube, because if that channel gets shut down, then my building one is still there. That was the main reason for doing it. And then I guess it was also so I could, yeah, I could have like kind of a place to talk with people who weren't dicks, the non-trolls, because my other channel gets lots of trolls. Um, I don't know. I don't know if it's worth it though. Like doing enough. People saying, oh wait, people saying that their uncle knows some secret karate ancient stuff and can knock you down without touching you always made me laugh back in the day. Yeah, I could knock you down without touching you if I have a baseball bat or a bazooka. Bazooka's the best word ever, isn't it? The best word for a horrible machine. It just like blows people up, but it sounds so fun. Ooh, Joel has a question. Okay, was the utility of having two channels primarily to have less talking, to look through videos when remembering building stuff, and building stuff when looking for the talking points? Yeah, I mean, I guess I just talked about this, but I mean, one of the big reasons is I was always constantly getting comments back. Oh, shut up and stop talking. Just go back to building stuff. And to those people, I'm just like, shut up. And just like a lot of trolls, I guess. Yeah, and I wanted to have a channel where I could talk and not feel like I was just annoying people and like, dealing with all these trolls all the time. So I was like, here's a channel that's just me talking. So if you're here, you actually want to hear me talk, right? Okay, about the rails and tracks. Now mentioning them is funny. Oh, you're making a funny joke about rails and tracks. Do you have earthworms on your island? There are no earthworms. Yes, of course there are earthworms. Yes, there are earthworms. I bet if Jaimie had built the submarine, it wouldn't have imploded. So I actually know what you're talking about, but only because a friend of mine sent me something like yesterday. Ooh, check this out. And I was like, what is this? And it's, oh, some submarine is missing. I don't know that much about it though. Some submarine's missing. And they died, I guess. Yeah, that sucks. Hopefully they were all horrible people. That's a terrible thing to say, but I don't know. I hope there was no one good in there. Oh, I'm going to shut up now. Do you eat the leaves of your sweet potato? They aren't nightshades. I have eaten leaves of sweet potatoes, but right now my sweet potato plants are not very big. So I'm just letting them go till I get potatoes. I've gotten potatoes off them a few times. But right now I'm kind of like taking cuttings of the vine and like putting them in different places, seeing if I can just get sweet potatoes to proliferate and see where they work and where they don't work and all that. Man, sweet potatoes are delicious. I also dug up a bunch of yucca the other day. That was pretty good. Oh yeah, I made a video of that, right. It was live about what I was having for dinner, right. Your boats are looking insanely super fast. Ooh yeah. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with my boats. Well, the cargo boat isn't that fast, although it's about the same speed as my smaller the boat I was driving, the green boat, which is good because it can hold like 4 times the amount of cargo, and I can get it to go the same speed, which is great. But then my little white boat, the zombie chopper, man, that thing is smoking. It's great, and yeah, I'm getting the power level down. Just getting things kind of tweaked and more efficient. That boat, it would be nice if I could drive all the way to town and back, full speed, which is totally possible. Not in the dark, but it's got 4 solar panels that are like, well, it's got about 800 watts, 800 watts of solar panels on the roof. So that will handle a significant portion of the motor. It depends how many watts or how many watts the motor's using. And I've been working on, the efficiency to get the power level down, which is weird. Usually I'm trying to increase power levels. Well, I'm trying to increase my own power levels, but machines, I want to get it down because they eat up batteries. Anyway, I should be able to drive to town and back on a sunny day, like full speed, which is kind of amazing because that boat goes pretty fast. It's really nice. Any plans to build a hoist crane type thing over your boat parking area? Plans or dreams? I've definitely thought about it. The thing I've thought about, I guess there's a few different things I've thought about. One thing I've thought about is just making a big steel pipe geodesic dome, like a huge one, over the whole boating area. And then I can have hoists going up to that'll go on tracks so I can like lift the boat up and move it around and stuff. Oh, that'd be pretty sweet. I've also thought about just making a crane, just like a big crane, just grab stuff, pick it up and move it around. Either of those would be useful for boats, moving boats, unloading, loading boats, like getting muck out of the canal, just make a scooper and, because every once in a while I have to kind of clean out the canal because it slowly builds up sediment and crap. No plans at the moment, but definitely I think about it for sure. Okay, about rails and tracks, Mr. Ark. I was about to build an uphill winch track to haul adobe mud about 20 feet out of an arroyo. I don't know what an arroyo is. Must be a mud hole or something in New Mexico. Yeah. That's funny. I almost forget the states up in the States now. I've been there so long.
It's over.
I set you guys with 2 episodes. So my kids are watching Firefly right now because that means that I could do this and not have them like jumping in my face the whole time. So I set them up with 2 episodes. Wait, it stopped?
Wait, will it go to next?
Is it going to the next episode?
I don't know. I thought we didn't replay it though. Well, it's starting.
Well, go. You'll see it. Tell me if it's not a new episode.
Oh, yeah, it's a new one.
Haha. Yeah, Papa knows what he's doing. All right, so now they're on episode 2. By the time episode 2 is done, I'll have to be finished this. Okay, 20-foot track out of an arroyo in New Mexico to make thousands of bricks. I will never mention tracks ever again. Cool. I want to know about these bricks. Are you like compacting them, just compacting mud? Or are you like taking the mud out, forming it into bricks, letting them dry out? Are you firing them? What's the deal? What's the deal with the bricks, man? I'd love to hear. Classic Dude Mike. Oh, by the way, super happy for you. The zombie chopper rocks. Yes, I'm pretty happy about it. Today, I took the zombie chopper out. Well, it's been this time of year, it's really low tide in the middle of the day. So this morning I got up, pulled the zombie chopper out, parked it beside the island because I can't get into the interior of the island when the tide is really low, which is what it is in the middle of the day. So I threw it out, parked it beside the island this morning, and then I went out after breakfast and jumped in the water and scraped off some more of those barnacle remnants. So hopefully it's faster. I mean, I'm not actually measuring, but my feelings tell me it's faster. It should be faster if I got some barnacles off. Anyway, then I parked the zombie chopper over at the beach because my island has a little beach. And then, did a bunch of yard stuff and whatever and got super filthy. And conveniently, 3 of my kids also got super filthy inside the house. They were just getting into these rusty bolts and building things with them. So they had rust like all over their hands and feet and stuff. Anyway, so we all jumped in the ocean at the beach. And when we were done swimming at the beach, I was like, you guys want to go for a ride in the boat? Because it was late enough that I could, drive the boat back into the interior of the island. So we did a lap around the island in the boat. They were very excited. My my 2-year-old's face when I turned the boat onto full speed, she was just like, and she was like laughing her head off. I can't do the face. 2-year-olds are hilarious. And then my son is like, yeah, this is awesome. Yeah, it was pretty good. Let's see what we got here. So yeah, the boats, the kids approve of the boat. Jaimie, just to let you know, I look forward to this Sunday meetup. Oh, this Sunday meetup that we're doing right now. Is that what you're talking about? Cool. Oh, if for some reason I switch back to one channel, I would just keep doing the Sunday things on that. Yeah, the recent boat upgrades have been awesome. Yeah, I'm trying to like, I want to get the zombie chopper really good because I'm planning to use that as my like driving to town boat for quite a while. So I want to get it like really tuned in, real nice. So I can get to town and back, you know, in a shorter amount of time. Because my green boat, it's a 3 or 4 hour trip. If it's good weather and I've got good sun for the solar panels and the motor, I can make it in 3 hours. If I'm just pedaling and the weather's like it's just cloudy and no wind or anything, it's like 4 hours. Now, you know, if it's cloudy and I have a headwind, it can take, well, the worst was 6 hours. It took me 6 hours to get there once. It took me 5 hours to get back. That was the worst day. I had a headwind both directions. I couldn't believe it when the wind changed. Luckily, that's only happened once, that bad. But yeah, if it's like a 3 or 4 hour trip, so let's say 7 hours to go to town and back, that means when I'm in town, I got to run through and just get everything I'm getting, get back to the boat quick so I can, you know, get back in the daylight. But if I can cut that time down to hour and a half, 2 hours, then I'll be able to chill a lot more in town and, you know, take things a little more, I don't know, just it won't be such a rush, you know? Now, one of the things in my older boat, it had a lot more cargo space, so I could take my wheelbarrow. So that's kind of how I got through town and picked up all the stuff I needed real quick, because I just drive my wheelbarrow to like the one store, then the tool store, then the food store, then the vegetable stand, and just keep piling up my wheelbarrow, and then just get back to the boat and just make one loop. So I won't have that with me in the zombie chopper because the boat's smaller, but I'll have so much more time. I can just make a couple trips back to the boat as I'm going. So that should be good. I'm looking forward to that. Well, I did one trip to town, but it was in a not very good weather day. I wasn't even really planning to go to town. I just wanted to drive around. And you know, I got there and back in a crappy weather day. And yeah, that was I kind of, once I got in the boat, I kind of wanted to test like how it would go if I wasn't really getting much sun. So I did want to go to town and kind of run the battery down to the point where I'm like, okay, I don't want to run it down any more than this. And now I have a pretty good idea of how far it'll go, like in the dark. It wasn't totally in the dark, but it was the whole way back on that trip, there was no sun. And maybe 2/3 of the way there was no sun. And I only got a little bit of charging while I was in town. So, you know, I can do it in a crappy weather day. But I do always try to make those trips on sunny days. And usually I'm pretty successful at that. How deep does the clay on your, oh, does the clay go on your island? What is below the clay? Okay, the clay is deep. Like, well, I've dug it 12 feet deep because to get my house here, my house is built into the side of a hill. Like there was no flat spot here to put my house. So I had to dig into a hill. And I kept digging into the hill until I got up to like a 12-foot high spot. It's like almost 4 meters. So 12 feet high, and it was just solid clay. Except, I mean, there was like one layer of kind of like, it looked like volcanic crap. So maybe as the island was forming with all this clay, At some point, there was a volcano. I don't know how long ago, like 10 feet below the top clay level, where it left this layer of like kind of rusty, rocky, metally bits. But other than that, there are very few rocks, and it's pretty clear clay. Hit the thumbs up, everyone, Mr. Landfill says. Oh, Nemesis Ned retracted a message. Oh, what did you say? Oh. All right. How's the spearfishing going? Will you make a video? Okay. I think I need someone to help me make a spear fishing video. The spear fishing is going pretty well. Yeah, it's pretty well. I've caught a few pretty good sized fish, and yeah, it's tricky. Okay, the type of fish we have around here, mostly the pargos. Well, I don't know, like all the fish around here, except the groupers. I could just walk up to a grouper and like poke it in the head. If I found some big grouper somewhere that I wanted to shoot with the spear gun, I could do that in video, no problem. But like the pargos, which are snappers, like the red snappers, or these, I don't know what those other fish are called in English. Anyway, they're real skittish, so it's kind of hard to get a good shot, like a shot at them, like to actually get one. And like if I miss a shot, they're gone, and then it's really like I have like one or two shots before like the fish like totally disappear and they're like hiding in their holes. And I have gotten one in its hole because it just kind of like it was after I spooked them, but it kind of stuck its head out just enough that I got him. But anyway, it would be pretty hard to do video, even if I had someone else. Like I'd have to be like, all right, dude, start rolling. Just follow me. When we get there, we've got like, once we see the fish, it's going to be seconds to either kill one or they're gone, But I'll see what I can do. I'll try to at least get something. I do have a GoPro, the underwater camera deal. It doesn't have a screen on it though, which makes it, I can't tell what's in the view, which is kind of not the worst thing in the world. But anyway, it works. I'll try to get some video. I'll have to do it on a day when the water's nice and clear and everything. All right. Mr. Landfill loves Firefly. It's like the best show ever. You know why they took it off the air? It's because the CIA was probably like, yo, man, this is giving people the wrong kind of idea. Living these independent lives. Get this crap off the air. We need TV shows that teach people to be slaves and not fight the man. I might be exaggerating about the CIA there. Maybe. The CIA has been involved with like movies and stuff. So I wouldn't be surprised if they kind of like vet the TV shows that are online and say, nope, cancel this, cancel that. Anyway, doesn't matter. I'm sure there are nefarious people doing that. About cranes, how does a Roman treadmill crane sound? I don't know. I'm gonna have to look that up. A Roman treadmill crane. I don't have anything to write on me right now. I don't feel like getting up. A Roman treadmill crane. Okay. Remember that, Jaimie. Just think of a Roman on a treadmill with a crane. Okay. I should be able to remember that. Oh, about Adobe bricks. I made some nice forms and a super cool sifter that clicked onto my wheelbarrow, which ran on wheels to sift material. Made about 300 bricks. I have since moved north. I see. So you left the bricks behind, I guess. So when you do the bricks, do you I don't know. I don't know about Adobe bricks. At some point I knew what Adobe was. Do you compact the dirt into the forms, or do you mix straw in with the dirt? I don't remember now. Oh, and could we please have an island tour update? I will work on that. Oh, it's like on one hand, I totally want to do like an island tour update and show everything that's going on and all my stuff and everything, like show everything. On the other hand, it's like there's some people I don't want to know my business. Um, it's just, yeah. I thought about doing an island tour and just like putting it on Patreon for the people who pay, because none of those people are going to be like out to get me. Not that, it's just, there are a lot of people in the world who have nothing to do, who are just always looking for problems to give people. And with those kind of people, the less they know, the better. And I definitely have some stalkerish type people. It kind of sucks. It's actually something that happens a lot with people who live off grid. Apparently, like a little while ago, you guys told me about some couple that was really, really badly getting harassed by a lot of people on the internet, and people were like they were telling people to like drive up to their house and like check if they're there and stuff. And it's like there are crazy people who have nothing to do but just cause problems. So that's why I'm a little bit nervous. I mean, I'm a little bit nervous about like posting any videos, but I think it's a worthwhile thing to do, so I do it. But I'm not sure exactly where I should draw the line. What are your thoughts on steam power riverboat paddle wheels? Do they suck? No, they're amazing. Or are there things that you think are interesting? Oh, are you kidding? A steamboat? Steamboat in general. Love that. Love that. I want to make a steamboat at some point. If we get into a zombie apocalypse and like I know there's no way I'm going to be able to get replacement solar panels when mine eventually die out, I'll want to build a steamboat before that. Of course, I'm not counting on a zombie apocalypse. However, I have all the parts here to make a steam engine, and I even have some plans in my head. Yeah, I want to make it doesn't matter. Well, I want to make maybe like a 6-piston. The number of pistons isn't necessarily super important, but kind of radially sticking around a thing. And anyway, yeah, steam engines are cool, and steam powered riverboat. Yeah, that's super cool. Let's see. What would you do if your boat sunk while you were in the middle of the trip? Do you have life jacket? Well, I could swim. I mean, I could. Okay, it depends which boat, but like all my boats have some kind of flotation thing. Like in the zombie chopper, I sit on a cushion that's floaty. Although I could swim. I mean, I can swim miles. I'm a pretty good swimmer. Um, yeah, I mean, I've been in a situation where there was a really bad storm and I was driving through it, and I had to think, if this gets to the point where my boat is going down and I have to just abandon that and think of my own survival, am I going to be okay? And I was like, yeah, I could get out of the boat and swim in this water. It wouldn't be comfortable. The waves would be like, but I could swim, a couple miles to shore. It would not be I shouldn't say it wouldn't be a fun experience. I think it would kind of be a fun experience because I like that kind of thing. Not enough that I want to do it super much, but like if I'm in the situation, I'm going to enjoy it for whatever. It's like I like adventures. Anyway, I'm pretty good swimmer, and I do have life or floaty stuff on all the boats. And if the kids are going with me somewhere, like I'll have life jacket and stuff. What are your thoughts on steam power? Whoa, that was already read that one. Let's see. Oh yeah, what would you do if your boat sank? Got that one. Let me just reload the chats to see if I've missed any. Oh yeah, there's a bunch of stuff. Oh my gosh, this was not loading all the comments. Okay, where is your boat sank? I caught your last video of your trip to town. Where did you dock? I don't recognize that dock. How much do they charge? $5. If you email me, my email should be down in the comments of this video. It's like in the comments of all my videos. If you email me, I can tell you. But I don't know that it's really like it's not really a public dock. Like I know the guy, and I know the guy because I parked there with someone else before when I first got here. Like he knows me. It's also not the best dock. Like where I park my boat, there used to be 2 docks there. One dock has since fallen into the ocean and is gone. And that's where I park because no one else is going to park there. So I don't have to fight over the parking spot. So I park there and just kind of stand in like a foot of water to, get from the boat to the shore. But right next to him, there's a spot. There's a, what do you call it? Like a little parking area. They charge $4. And then right next to that, there's a pretty ghetto parking spot that's $3 like per day. And it's on the east side of town. Oh, Joe Blow. Hi, everyone. How's it going, man? About clay digging. Let's see. 12 inches. Clay digging 12 inches. Wild. Have you seen the architecture style where people make clay structures, then put a burner into an opening and essentially fire it? Kind of cool. Not something I would do. Dude, I've been thinking about that. Wait, I have not seen the videos. I want to see that. Have you seen the architecture style where people make clay structures, then put a burner into it, like basically light a fire inside it? Dude, I've been thinking about doing that, and I was wondering if anyone has done that. Like, yeah, I'm gonna have to look up videos. If there's like a keyword I should type in or something for that, let me know. I totally want to see that. Question: do you fish the south side of your island where the beach is? That's not really kind of the south-ish part. Do I fish there? Not. I mean, I have, but that's not the best spot to fish. Yeah, I don't know. I fish around. Not anywhere specifically. Have you ever been stopped by Coast Guard or Maritime Authority? I've been stopped several times and had to show my captain's license and radio and boat registrations. I've had the police come up and say, "Hi, wow, cool boat," asking in Spanish and stuff. They always want to know about the boat. I think that I don't even know if I could register my boat because it has such a small motor. It's like I think it's more like considered to be kind of like a kayak, and I think I can get away with a lot in that way. However, my bigger boat, I don't know. I don't go to town in that one, kind of for that reason, So treadmill crane, basically a hamster wheel. Okay. Like a human-sized hamster wheel. I think I could figure out a better way to power it, but with a pawl, PAWL, to lock the wheel. Okay, I think they are cool. And then it just has that's the part that winds up the rope, and then it has a big stick sticking out with the rope over it or something, and a pulley. Bricks. You have a mixture of clay and a little sand. Some people use asphalt, some use straw. Are you still going to try to get the amps down on the zombie chopper? Yes. What would be the next step to do? Okay. So the next step to do would be is what I was doing today, which is get the rest of those barnacles off. I didn't get them all off today. I maybe got half of what was there off. And like I scraped all the barnacles off, I don't know, a year ago or something. But the barnacles have this base. It's this clump of shell stuff, and it's really hard to get off. Some of it's coming off a lot more easier now because like I've been parking the boat out of the water for a while. And this it gets weaker over time, But some of it is, man, it's really stuck on there. Oh, let's see. Pure Living for Life channel. Vasco, why are you telling me that? There must be a reason. I don't know. Bricks continued. Get the mix the correct wetness and pack it into the forms. Lift forms off once the matrix has set up. Later turned bricks on side. We made some cool raised beds. Photos overdue big time. All right. Okay, so for the bricks, you have a mixture of clay and a little sand. Some people use asphalt, some use straw. Well, I have all that stuff. So it's mostly just clay. I have tons of clay. All right. Somebody's stalking you online or over there. Actually, both. Yeah, I wasn't thinking about who's harassing me kind of locally, but that just reminded me, yeah, there is at least one person who is actively trying to cause problems for me, which is like, it's just, like, there's some really sad people in the world, and there's like nothing you can do for them. Like some people are just dead set on being miserable and trying to bring their misery to other people, and yeah, there's like nothing you can do. I don't know. I'm sure there's something you can do. I mean, back in the day, people like that would just get hit in the head with a club and tossed aside, but that's not how we do things today. Yeah. Bricks continued. I needed to find a way to mine the clay, sand, and an arroyo is an ephemeral H2O channel in desert. Turns into river when it rains. Oh, I see. And it has clay in it. Are you growing pineapple? Yes, I am definitely growing pineapples. Okay, about the clay fire or clay structure that is fired. It is an Iranian architect that came up with the idea. If I am not, I'm sure a million people have come up with that idea. I just want to know if someone's actually done it and like figured out how to do it good. Look up the term ceramic house. I will do that. Ceramic house. There's an old book that explains. Oh wait, this is a different thing. Okay, what was Joel talking about? There is an old book that explains how to do it in traditional Muslim nations. It's an energy-hungry process. Oh, okay, it's still talking about the ceramic house. To bake a fresh house. Yeah, I bet it is. I bet that uses a ton of energy. Bob says chopper is looking cool. I saw your vacation video. All you brought home was peanut butter. Yeah, well, I got peanut butter and a couple cabbages. Oh, and 2 things of popcorn. Yeah, mostly peanut butter, a bit of cabbage, a bit of popcorn. Let me just reload my chat for a second. Oh, sorry. Vasco, this is what you're talking about. Pure Living for Life was the channel on YouTube that was getting stalked and harassed. Yeah, they're not the only ones. I actually sent them a message if it's the ones that you guys were telling me about before. And, it's just like, I don't know, just being supportive. Shared a bit of my experience with harassers. Like, that saying that idle hands are the devil's playthings. I'm not really into the Bible or anything, but like totally. Yeah. Like people who have nothing to do cause the most trouble, and it's annoying. Bricks. Perhaps your fishnet, a mesh system, could work well in clay bricks. The straw eventually decomposes, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I think though, if I want to make clay bricks, I want to fire them because they're going to last longer, particularly in a moist environment, right? Like like clay in a dry environment, like in an Adobe situation, should last a super long time. But a place like this, like yesterday, it got really windy and the rain was coming in like that. Like even if you had a huge overhanging roof, like your Adobe would be getting wet, and hit pretty hard with rain. And last week someone asked me about hurricanes. It wasn't hurricane force wind yesterday, but it was pretty windy, and there were no problems here. A bunch of branches blew off trees and stuff, but house was fine and everything. Vasco Zuzers, I felt bad for those guys. Yeah, I felt bad for those guys too. Those Pure Living for Life guys. I watched one of their videos about just getting harassed by all these stalkers, and man, they're like trying to do their thing, and like people are just I don't know what the motivation was, like to just try to ruin their lives. And they're like trying to live their life and do their thing, and they're having a baby at the time, and like all these people are just like harassing the crap out of them. And like who cares if I just didn't understand the motivation. Like it's got to just be people with nothing going on in their lives who are just miserable and want to bring other people down to their misery level so they can feel better about themselves, which doesn't make any sense. That will never make you feel better. But people try it. They started making videos again, so I think they may have had some resolution, I hope. Modern people have it too easy. Yeah, like modern people have nothing to do. So they turn those hands to just cause problems. Yeah, when I lived in the States, it was definitely worse when I lived in the United States because people knew where I was and they could show up at my house, even though my house was like, it was a little bit hidden, but like people would just show up. And I know like a lot of YouTube people have had this situation where they've moved because they just couldn't deal with all of these people just showing up, and like cool people who are respectful showing up, fine. But like it's way too high a percentage of people who show up. Like just imagine some stranger shows up to your house, acts like they own the place, like they know you, your best friends, and you're like, I don't know you at all. They've been watching you for years, like they think you're like family, and they're being way too familiar, and they don't have like any kind of social boundaries, and they're evil and don't know it, because a lot of people who are just really evil people have no clue. And this goes back to victim mentality, which I've spoken about in the past. Like when people get the idea that they're the perpetual victim, like they can clear anything through their victim conscience. They can do any horrible thing to anyone because they're not victimizing someone else. They are always the victim. Like if I feel like I'm always the victim, I can go to someone and like slash the tires on their car and walk away with a clear conscience because I'm like, well, that I'm the victim. I'm the victim there. That's not my fault. And that wasn't anything bad for them. I'm just trying to protect myself by totally attacking people for no reason, A lot of people have that problem today. And it just goes back to people who have modern people have it too easy. Yeah, they have nothing going on in their lives. So they get these stupid ideas about doing dumb things, usually to people who are trying to do something with their lives. Okay, about bricks. Definitely need to fire in the jungle for sure. Yeah. You're super right. The bricks would melt. Would be interesting to have some kind of passive solar kiln concentrator. Yeah, I mean, I've fired a few bricks. I just kind of did a test thing, and then I smashed all the bricks to see how strong they were, and at least a few of them were really they were pretty tough. Like I had to hit them pretty hard to break them. So I can definitely make good bricks with the clay here, um, and I'd like to at some point do that. I like to make a whole bunch of bricks and tiles and stuff. Of course, I have a lot. I have a lot to do. Oh, Jan Jandai. TDH, what are you talking about? Jan Jandai, Life is Easy, is a good YouTube channel with similar life advice as your talks. Oh, Jan Jandai, Life is Easy. Okay. He teaches in Thailand how to make mud houses. I think you can just plaster them to protect from rain. Yeah, I would still be wary of that because whenever you have a coating over something that has to be protected, if your coating has a crack or there's any kind of leak, oof, it could turn into a mess. So if I was going to do something with clay here, I would definitely want to fire it first. Are you familiar with the idea? Oh man, but yeah, if I could just make a clay brick dome and then light a fire inside it, it would have to be a huge fire. And I probably have to like cover it with all kinds of straw and stuff to insulate it to make sure the heat stays in there. But yeah, the other thing is I'd have to do it in a way that it could dry and is not getting rained on. Like it'd have to be pretty dry to be able to fire it. Anyway, okay, what was I just reading? Are you familiar with the idea of planting deep rooting tubers and letting them decay to develop soil? Yes, I am. That's one of the reasons I've been planting tons of potatoes and yucca and yampi. I also eat that stuff, but I've just been planting it everywhere in the clay. Um, and when I was moving some dirt and filling in an area, there was yucca growing there, and I just like kind of went right over it. So hopefully that's helping my soil. What could a stalker possibly find to dislike about you? Oh, there is plenty of stuff to dislike about me if you feel like it. I mean, about anyone, really. Um, the funny thing is, you say, what is there to dislike about me? But like when I talk to normal people get angry with me a lot. Like not everyone, but like anyone who's on the left, let's say, at all. Like any politically left leaning people, which is a lot of people. They don't have to be like extremists or anything, just like left leaning a little bit. And I'll say some comment like refer to Canada as communist Canada. And oh my god. Oh, people blow up. How could you take such a beautiful place for granted? Ah! Or if it's an actual Canadian, how dare you? You don't know what you're talking about. Well, I grew up in Canada. Oh, and you took it for granted. Oh my God. There's so much stuff that people get angry with me about. Like I could probably come up with like 40 different topics that people get angry with me about. Anyway, are just use trees. It's a technique called chop and drop or pollarding to chop and regrow them. Tree roots do the work well. Are you talking about grow trees to make the soil better? Do you think you might, oh, this is a question for me. Do you think you might make a wind turbine of some kind eventually? Yeah. Are there any waterways that could turn a turbine near you? I do have a waterway on my bigger piece of land known as the farm, which I was farming until the neighbor's cows came and destroyed the area. Now I gotta fence off the whole thing before I can really grow food over there. But anyway, there's a stream running through there, and it's always running. Like even when it's dry, like it hasn't rained for a while. I've never seen the stream stop, so it's always running. And I could run a little paddle wheel off that and power something. Now, when it rains, it is like, so I'd have to make something that could handle a huge amount of water coming through sometimes, but then still work with the low amount of water. But yes, that is definitely stuff I think about. It's like on my list of stuff I want to do. There's just a lot of stuff on that list, you know? Let's see. Question. Jaimie, have you seen hyper adobe earth bag construction in damp areas? If you mix in 8 to 10% cement, you can end up with a waterproof dome. Yeah, but if I'm gonna mix cement in, I might as well just make concrete or styrocrete or something. Like clay doesn't make very good cement or like very good concrete. There are definitely other materials that make better concrete. So yeah, I feel like if I was going to mix cement in, I might as well just styrocrete or normal regular concrete. Yeah, it would be neat to see if a Fresnel lens could fire bricks. Well, a Fresnel lens, you could fire a brick. So there's this idea that sometimes people get mixed up with, which is like if you want to heat a big area, you can put a big lens and it'll focus the light to heat up, but you'll only be heating up a spot. So you won't actually get any more heat than if you had no lens and the heat was just spread out over the whole thing. Now, maybe that could work if you heated up a spot through a non-insulated point and insulated all the rest around it. So yeah. But yeah, if you just wanted to fire one brick, you can maybe do it with a big lens. I'd probably do a like a reflecting mirror, just because it'd be easier to get. Like I can make a mirror. I can make a parabolic mirror. I don't know, but you can do a lot at a time. Let's see, bricks, obviously super labor intensive, and I think your styrocrete angle is very interesting. Philosophically cool and efficient. Ceramic house, use giant gas burners, so much oil in that region. Oh, right. They have tons of oil, so they could just like light a giant fire in a huge ceramic thing and cook it. Yeah, I would do a wood fire here, unless I could get gasoline and just be kind of crazy. I don't know. I would have to do some experiments. But yeah, the styrocrete is pretty cool. Largely because it uses a material that's just going to landfills and turns it into something. And I have like a whole bunch of styrofoam right now that I need a new project to do something with it. And I have some ideas in mind. They're just like I want to build some domes, but first I have to prep the area. It's not like I can just make a dome just anywhere. Oh wait, where are we? I think you'd benefit from having workers. No, I don't need workers. Can you let backpackers or the like stay for free for for exchange for work? Well, I've done work away before. I haven't been doing it lately. I've also had people visit, like just like YouTube people, and I've also had friends. Yeah, I've had a lot of times when people came to help, and generally speaking, they don't really add anything. Usually, I get less done when someone is helping me, and I mean, it usually goes something like this. Well, let me talk about one specific instance. I was in Vermont, and I was getting wood for firewood for the winter, and it had already snowed, and so I was out in the snow cutting wood at the beginning of the winter. Like I wanted to stock up, I wanted to get ahead. And a friend from town was like, "Oh, I want to come help. I want to come help." And I was like, "Well, I don't know. It's it's just a lot of work, He's like, "No, I want to come help. I want to come help." And I was like, "All right, fine, let's go." So we go out into the forest. I start moving this log, and I'm thinking I'm doing this like for the next 6 to 8 hours. So he's helping me move the log. It's not really helping. It's more, but whatever. We're getting somewhere. And I'm thinking, maybe after a little bit, we'll be able to figure out how he can actually be helpful. He wasn't as strong as me, and whatever. He didn't really understand how things moved and stuff. But maybe I could get him up to speed. 15 minutes in, oh, we should take a break. And I'm like, oh, I don't want to take a break. I want to do this for a long time. I want to get a lot of work done. This is the first log, and I haven't even gotten it back yet. Like, I haven't even gotten one log. And I want to get like 10 logs over here today, And he's like, yeah, but you got to take a break sometime. You got to chill. You can't work all the time. And I'm like, right, but right now I'm trying to work. Anyway, long story short, ended up taking a break. Went to my house. He ate my snacks. I hardly got anything done that day. And the next day, I just didn't talk to anybody and just went and did work. So, and that's almost always how it goes. Now, there are rare occasions where I've worked with someone who is actually beneficial, and that is super cool. It's super amazing to work with someone who actually helps. But almost always, the person wants to stop early, and they want to slow down and take breaks, and I'm just like, go, go, go. And like I've had situations, like a lot of situations where people will say, oh, I gotta take a break, or let's take a break, and I'm like, you take a break, I'm gonna keep going. And they're like, no, you're making me feel bad. I'm like, don't feel bad, you're tired, take a break. I gotta keep going though. Oh no, you got to take a break with me. And they'll just harass me until I either take a break or I yell at them, and it's like if it's something that I really absolutely have to get done that day, I just bulldoze through any kind of kindness or politeness. And I'm like, get out of my way, I'm doing this. And then people get upset. So it's not that I can't work with people. It's just, it's difficult to find someone that I can work well with. Now, if I'm working on someone else's project, it's a lot easier because I can find a way to be useful on someone else's project, and it's their project, so they're doing it. They're on it. Do you guys? Well, the second episode of Firefly just ended, so I think I got to get out of here. All right, just stop it and turn it off. Do you guys need the light? But okay. So anyway, what I was. On the topic of backpackers, like when I was doing Workaway, I would do it for a social thing, not to really expect to get any work done. Like I liked having people over sometimes, and they would kind of hang out and help a little. But then I would get to meet people, hear their stories from other parts of the world. My kids would get to meet other people, so that's definitely beneficial. It's just the actual work itself doesn't. You should make a crab trap and go trapping. I have a fish trap, and crabs do get in it. Yeah, we catch crabs. Yeah, have a crab trap, I guess. Some turbine plants will pump water back uphill during the day when the solar grid is active. Yeah, I've thought about doing a water battery, like having a big pond and pumping water up, and then I could even do that with a ram pump, which would be kind of a cool way to do it. And then, whenever I want electricity, kind of have a tube coming out of the pond with a little valve at the bottom that, turn it on and it spins around a generator. I think that would be super cool to build. I kind of wish I was like a little kid. I wish I was one of my kids, because that would be like a project I would do. I'd be like, Dad, I want to make this thing. It's going to be amazing. And then I would go do it. Oh, that would be cool. But yeah, I just have a lot of different things I'm working on. Are you a coffee drinker? I am not. I drink 0 coffee. I don't really have caffeine or anything in general. I like to be in charge of my own energy level, like I don't like anything that's going to affect my mood or the way I think or any of that stuff. Like I really like to try to keep myself me, like I want to be in control of myself. It's getting late. Let me think of a really deep philosophical question. All right, Vasco, you're in the penalty box. About a kiln. Maybe make charcoal retorts to convert wood into charcoal. Use charcoal for the ceramic house, and have mountains of it for use in soil building. Yeah, perhaps you could have a diversion channel for hydroelectric, little channel for regular flow, big channel for rain flow. Well, the thing is, if I'm going to have two channels, when the water is raging, it's just going to, and then, I don't know. I feel like I could just make a generator thing that it would just be robust enough to handle all that water. Like it would just kind of go over it or whatever. Baked in situ earth houses. It's a construction method used in ancient India where you fire the whole house. Yeah, that sounds so cool. I'm so glad people have done that because that's something I have all this clay. I've definitely thought about doing that. Is anyone doing that with a floor? Because I was thinking about that. Of course, heat doesn't go down, but is there a way to make a fire on like just a clay surface and fire that? That would be cool. Even if it ends up cracking, it would just be like tiles, Anyway, what about building a form for a consistent giant Lego-style styrocrete form if you have a bunch of interconnecting pre-made blocks? Yeah, I mean, I've thought about that, but why don't I just make the blocks in place and then they're connected to each other, or like they don't really need to be interlocking. They just mortar them together. I would want to mortar them together either way, even if they were interlocking, because I wouldn't, I'd be a little worried about the piece popping off. I don't know. Maybe it would work all right. I haven't tried it yet. Maybe someone's tried it. Has someone tried it? I'll have to check YouTube. YouTube has the answers, right? I bet it would work. I bet you could get it to work well, as long as you had your nubs not too tall. Like have pretty shallow nubs, so they don't get snapped off very easily, and like tapered. So if it does get pulled, it would just kind of Anyway, I haven't had. I guess all the stuff I build is like round. I don't really build things with bricks. I'm like building domes and stuff, I don't know. You caught me not thinking about that. Let's see. Caffeine is terrible. Society is addicted to caffeine. A lot of people are addicted to caffeine and totally comfortable with it, by the way. Yeah. All right. I better get out of here because my kids are done watching TV and they're quiet. Everything is so quiet out there. I don't know what's going on. Maybe they just went to bed. Did they just go to sleep? It's like almost 9. They could have all just gone to sleep. Maybe that's what's going on. Maybe my kids all asleep, or are they getting into trouble? I don't know. One of them just told me you're going to sleep. Everyone's asleep. Did you guys all brush your teeth? I gotta go brush some teeth. Have you seen a cart, which is basically a little gantry that winches up the log with 2 larger diameter wheels from the fulcrum? I've only seen it once, and the dude was moving a huge section of tree. All right, let me think. A cart, which is basically a little gantry that winches up the log with 2 larger diameter wheels from the fulcrum. Ah, I think I know what you're talking about. Look into how Romans heated their bathhouses, heated fart gas to fire the clay dome. All right, I'm going to get out of here, and I hope everyone is having a marvelous evening and morning and whatever you've got wherever you are. And over and out, Classic Dude Mike. Thanks for the tips. And I'll talk to you guys next week probably. I think. What my kids are yelling things at me now. All right, where's the button? There's a button. Oh, stop streaming.